Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We're nearly on 1,000 likes whilst we're live, which is just amazing. I want to jump into this story next because this story is very, very intriguing to me indeed. And another big update in relation to the situation with Victor Osimhen and a potential move to Arsenal. And this just doesn't seem to want to go away. So Estadio Deportivo have said that Arsenal are preparing a move to sign Victor Osimhen, and Galatasaray are demanding 70 million euros. Osimhen has given his approval for the transfer to Arsenal. Now, this comes off the back, so I want to be very, very fair in this. This comes off the back of 3 or 4 heavily followed and supposedly heavily respected journalists from Istanbul and from Turkey that have said that this deal is possible, this deal is on, there are signs, Arsenal have made inroads. And we go back to what Sami Mukbel said just yesterday, that there is a large element of truth to these links. So I'm still yet to be fully convinced that something is going to happen. But there is a lot of noise surrounding this without it being... I've not personally seen anything yet, any tweets or any updates where it's been completely and utterly shut down. I think what adds some fuel to this fire is the story that also came out today, that is that Barcelona are expected to make moves in the coming weeks. I mean, it has to be the coming weeks, only 2 weeks after the window, regarding Victor Gyökeres. The player is one of Barcelona's options to replace Ferran Torres. Now, again, I am not taking this story, this update, as the complete and utter gospel truth. I think that would be too easy to do. Mikel Arteta himself has come out publicly, I think about 2 weeks ago, and said that Victor Gyökeres will be staying with Arsenal this season. But what else do we know? There are lots of sources in Turkey and some sources across the UK and Europe that have said the links to Victor Osimhen are real. There was a big update from ESPN, a big update from journalists in Buenos Aires that said over the course of the last week, Mikel Arteta has also made contact again with Julian Alvarez. What else do we know? Ethan Nwaneri is going to be sold. We know that Gabriel Jesus is on the chopping block to be sold. And we know that Gabriel Martinelli, the club, I think Arsenal were very open to selling him. Arsenal would have sold him to Galatasaray, but the player rejected the move. So whether or not you believe the links to Julian Alvarez, whether or not you believe all these journalists, including Sami Mukbel, are making up these links to Victor Osimhen, Arsenal can't have all these players' heads on the chopping block from a sales perspective without working on anything else. I think it would be a delusion. I think it would be delusional thought to go, Arsenal are open to selling Jesus, Martinelli, and Nwaneri without having the ideals, without having the desire, without working on new players coming in. Now, will they sell all 3 and buy 3? That remains to be seen. But do I think it's plausible that Barcelona decide in the next few days, but remember, they were, and there's a story that I read, I forgot about this, but it was put out there because I thought it was an update today because it was Fabrizio Romano, but it was a tweet. I think it's on let me just check on my personal phone because I saw this come up and I went, oh my God, is it really happening? It was a tweet from Fabrizio. Here it is. No, that's not the one. It was literally from Fabrizio, and now I can't find it. I thought I bookmarked it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't bookmark it. Nope, that's not the one. Oh, I thought I bookmarked it. Apologies, people. It will probably pop up straight on my timeline as soon as I stop talking to you fine people. Or maybe I scrolled down too far. Maybe it was... No, I thought I bookmarked it. Obviously, I didn't. Some of you may have already seen it. Oh, there it... No, it ain't. I'm being stupid. Sorry, peeps. Let me see if I can find it here. I really did think I had it. But it was essentially an update from Fabrizio. He tweeted it out about a year or so ago where he spoke about the potential of Barcelona and Gyökeres. Now, this story has been circulating for a good number of weeks now, and I wanted to talk on the Barcola situation because there's been a lot of updates on this. A lot of people saying, Terry, what do you think's not so much asking me what's going on because I'm not in the know, which I've never claimed to be on this deal. But there's been quite a few updates on this in relation to what the current situation is. The first comes from Fabrice Hawkins, who says that Bradley Barcola and Mbaye are not in the matchday sheet for the French Community Shield Super Cup game yesterday against Rennes. The two PSG wingers are on their way out. Liverpool still want to recruit both players. Discussions will continue next week. Now, that was obviously an update from yesterday, but Fabrice Hawkins, in my opinion, is the most credible French journalist in the world. I don't know of anyone that is more credible and more accurate than him when he reports. So they are on their way out of the club. Liverpool trying to sign both. What Ben Jacobs has said today is there remains a big gulf in valuation between Liverpool, Paris Saint-Germain over Bradley Barcola. Liverpool's entire tactic is waiting and feeling in control of it because Barcola wants to move and then hoping the asking price drops. There have been a few French updates that are identical to this, and that is exactly what Liverpool are trying to do. Liverpool, I hate to bring this up as an I told you so, but they have got the tactic correct when it comes to signing. So you're going to wind up a lot of the Ineos out sort of group, the mob as I call them, that they've done what 90% of clubs do at the highest level of football, is they get a player to fully commit to them. They get a player to reject the idea of other clubs coming in. And Liverpool think they've got that in place. Liverpool's thinking is, well, if he only wants us and PSG are forcing him out.
Here we go. Exactly the words you want to hear on a story like this. João Pedro has agreed a new contract at Chelsea, extending his current deal by a further year through to June 2033, complete with a significant pay rise as the Brazilian makes his long-term commitment to Stamford Bridge official. Let's talk about how quickly Pedro has made himself absolutely indispensable, because this time last year, nobody could have guaranteed this outcome. He arrived from Brighton in a deal worth around £60 million, signing what was already a substantial 7-year contract running to 2032. Plenty of big money signings take time to settle. Pedro didn't need any. He finished his debut campaign with 23 goals and 9 assists in 53 appearances across all competitions. Form good enough to earn him Chelsea's own Player of the Season award in his very first year at the club. That kind of instant impact was always going to attract attention from elsewhere, and it did. Barcelona were consistently linked throughout the summer, and reports suggest interest didn't stop there either, with Chelsea said to have knocked back bids from both Arsenal and Barcelona worth around €100 million combined as suitors circled. Chelsea's response wasn't just to say no. According to The Athletic, the club moved to finalize new terms and had paperwork sent to Pedro's representatives in early August, pending only his signature. Exactly the kind of statement move a club makes when they view a player as completely untouchable rather than simply useful. Xabi Alonso's own words on Pedro since taking charge tell you a lot about where he sits in the new manager's plans too, describing him as hungry and determined heading into a season where Chelsea are chasing a genuine return to the Premier League's top 4 following a disappointing 10th-placed finish and no European football last term. Pedro hasn't waited for the real action to start to make his case either. During pre-season, he scored a lightning-fast 9-minute hat-trick in Chelsea's 6-4 win over Western Sydney Wanderers, exactly the sort of statement performance that reinforces why the club was so determined to get this contract wrapped up before a ball was even kicked competitively.